All right, team, let's dive right into it. Welcome to another edition of Webinar Wednesday by Brilliant Directories. If you're here, you're excited and looking for tips to grow your online community, and community support is what Brilliant Directories is all about. So welcome. If this is your first time joining us, I'm Jason there on the left, and we're lucky enough to be joined by Rick and Patrick here in today's presentation. Rick is one of the support specialists here at Brilliant Directories. Most of you have maybe interacted with him at some point through a support ticket or a phone call. So Rick, thank you for joining us. And Patrick is a digital marketing expert. I don't know anyone who has more experience helping Brilliant Directories websites succeed. So Rick and Pat, thank you for taking the time to join us in today's webinar.
Always a pleasure. Thank you very much, Jason.
Very happy to be here, Jason.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. And before getting started, I always like to recommend, if you're not already part of our Brilliant Directories Facebook group, go ahead and take a second to join now. You can go to brilliantdirectories.com/Facebook. We'll wait for you. Just go ahead and join that group. We can continue the conversations from Webinar Wednesday in that Facebook group. There's tons of participation, great topics and discussions. I'm responding in there. People are asking great questions, and the best part is the community is helping each other. So I hope to see you there, and we can continue the webinar conversations in the Facebook group. If this is your first time joining in for Webinar Wednesday, welcome. It's great to be with you here today. We've created Webinar Wednesday as a platform and a place where we can discuss and share strategies to help grow your online community. No matter what type of directory website you have, we've seen that these strategies can help you increase membership signups, traffic to your site, revenue, and more. So some of the topics we'll cover during Webinar Wednesdays are how to convert website visitors into free or paying members. Like I mentioned, how to increase your website traffic, and many other things. One of my favorites I want to point out on this list is improving the website navigation. Having a clear path of action that you want visitors to follow is crucial and key to the success of any website. So you'll notice a lot of times we come back to, when we're taking questions, how to improve the website's navigation through main menu links, the text on the website, making sure everything is clearly represented that you want the website visitor to do. In any case, if you have questions on any of these topics, save them. We're going to get to them later in the webinar, and we'd love to see if we can help you with your website. And a recurring theme in Webinar Wednesdays is not getting stuck on the hamster wheel. Your membership website, like any business, has many components and moving parts, and it's important that you use your time wisely, helping each part of your business grow. So we're probably going to come back to this slide later, and we're going to want to make sure that you're not spending too much time trying to solve a problem, designing your site, driving traffic, following up with members. You want to make sure that you're continuously cycling through these hamster wheel steps. And then also, we want you to know that the Brilliant Directory support team is here to help. We want to keep Webinar Wednesdays constructive in the sense of talking about marketing strategies to grow your community. So if you have a support-related question, you need to report an issue, help troubleshooting something, please feel free to reach out to the Brilliant Directories support team. They'll be more than happy to assist you and point you in the right direction to help resolve any of those issues. All right, one of my favorite segments of the Webinar Wednesday presentations are the BD lab updates. Obviously, there's too many to mention just in Webinar Wednesday, so I'm going to try to just select a couple that I think would be helpful to those of you joining and watching today. We have a lot to discuss in Webinar Wednesday, so I'll try to go through these relatively quickly. The first one is the ability to control your date format and your radius options is now in your general settings area. And let me show you where that is. It's going to toggle on over to the dashboard here, and we're going to go to Settings, General Settings. And if you head on over to the Configuration tab, in the Configuration tab is basically where you can choose your time zone, now your date format, the primary country of your site, and a few other options. So what we've added here is now the date format of how you want dates to be shown on your site. I know in Australia and other countries, sometimes the month comes before the day or the day comes before the month. So now you can toggle between these two options right now and pre-select the way you want dates represented on your website and time and shown in the admin as well. The next one that we've added is the default search radius. So members might search a city or a zip code or postal code on your website, and you don't want to show all the member results. You want to contain it to a certain radius or limit. So here, by default, it's set to 50. Depending on your website and things like that, the market you're targeting, you might want to limit this or maximize the default search radius value. You don't want to make it too small because you might exclude members who might be on the fringes of different types of location searches, but you don't want it to be too wide where website visitors are starting to get results for irrelevant member results. For example, someone 1,000 miles away isn't very helpful for a local search. And then over here on the left, this has always been here, but the distance format, if you want it to be displayed and calculated in miles or kilometers. So more BD Lab updates. We do have an enhancement for an existing add-on. We had an add-on called Search Member Keywords, which would basically, if you did a keyword search for members, by default, it just searches the member's name or company name, and that was it. This add-on will search the phone number or any other type of data that's on the member's profile page, even new custom fields that you create. What we've expanded is now this also works for posts like blogs, coupons, articles. So prior to this, you could only search coupons and other types of posts by their title or the keyword that was that was tagged for the post. Now with this enhancement, you can choose if you want to search all the information of a post. And let me show you exactly what I'm talking about here. So first of all, let me show you the add-on that this is an enhancement for. So this isn't a new add-on, this is new functionality for an existing add-on. And I'll scroll down here, and it's for the expanded keyword search. So before it only expanded keyword searches for members, now it's for posts, and I'll show you where those new settings are. So if you head on over to the dashboard, I'll always start there. From here, you can go to the content section and then edit post settings. And let's just, for example, edit the member articles. So now I can edit options for my member articles types of posts. So let's go to the search results design. And here it is here, post keyword search option. So if you have that add-on, you will have this option now. And you can choose if you only want to do title searches, title, description, and tags, or if you want to search all post data using the keyword search field. So if you're adding new fields to fill in for coupons or events or properties, and you want those to be searchable via the keyword search input field, you'll probably want to select this option here, and that'll provide more results to website visitors because it's doing a broader search with regards to the type of fields that it's looking for. If you have a lot of content on your site, the fastest search, if you notice searches are going a little slow, would be searching the title only. Obviously, this is a more comprehensive search here, this third option, but it would only affect you if you have thousands and thousands of posts on your site with regard to speed. So that is an enhancement there on an existing add-on. And something I'm super excited for, we've talked about this in webinars, we've had to provide somewhat complicated workarounds. We now have some mobile view settings for your header, and I think this is super high value. And if you have a lot of mobile visitors to your website, you're definitely going to want to go in and modify some of these settings, and I'll show you my preferences for what these settings should be. And so let me explain the problem first and what you can solve with these new mobile view settings. So let's go to our sample site here. This is a demo site we use for the webinars. And this is your header. So you have your logo, sometimes you'll have the search field here, and we have the mini nav here with links. Let's go to mobile view here. And when we're on mobile view, 80% of the screen right now is covered with what's in the header here. And that could be a good thing or a bad thing depending on what your goals are. But let's just do a search here for members. So now I'm on a search results page. But if I'm on mobile, I don't even see the results until I start scrolling down a bit. So what we've done is we've given you some options in your design settings that you can turn on or off that will hide some of these options here in your header. And let me show you where those settings are and what those settings are. And then we could do some examples. So you can go to your dashboard. And from here, we want to toggle on over to Settings, Design Settings. I love the design settings. There's over 100 different options here. You can really customize your site just with some pointing and clicking. And for this tool, we want to go to the header design because these are specifically related to the items and elements in the header of your website. So here are the normal options that we're used to. And if you scroll down a bit, now there are mobile view options. So there's 4 key settings here. The header search, I'll just go back here. That's this module here. You might want to hide that on mobile. The mini nav links, that's basically your contact us and your sign up page link here, and any other links that you have part of your mini nav as we call it. And your website logo. So here's the logo here. In this case, we're using the text logo from the logo maker and design settings. It could be an image if you have an image logo on your site. And then the last one is to simply hide the entire header, basically all these elements on mobile devices. Let's strip these away one by one. I'll do them quickly, and then I'll share with you what my preferences are. So let's actually hide the header search on mobile, and I'll just hit Save Changes. And I'm going to stay on the search results page, and we can get a good idea of how much space we're actually saving on a mobile device. Let's refresh here. Okay, so that is now gone on mobile. Let me expand this on my browser, and we'll notice it comes back right here as the header search when we're not in a mobile view. This would be more like a tablet view, which it would be more appropriate to have there. So let's make it small again. So let's see, it's gone on mobile view. All right, and let's hide the logo next. And we'll save the changes. And we can refresh the page. Okay, so now things are moving higher and higher up here. So now we have our mini nav is next. Now, we can go 2 routes. We could hide the mini nav and keep the logo. You could mix and match based on kind of what your website looks like. My preference would be to keep the mini nav, but I want to share a tip where you can kind of get rid of the contact us link because this is taking up a whole line, and the registration link is pretty important on a site, and being at the top is very useful as well. So what I'd like to do is at least just keep the registration link. So this is a little bit of a workaround still, but it should be relatively easy here. What I want to do is go to the toolbox and go to my menu manager. I'm going to edit the mini nav menu in the header. So when I'm in the menu manager, I'm going to edit the header mini nav. And in this case, there's just 2 links. It's the contact us and the sign up link. What I'm going to do is I'm going to not show the contact us link on mobile. So I don't want to make it too complicated. I'll keep it simple. Basically, in this field here, outer CSS class, all you have to do is if there's something in there, just put space and type hidden excess. That means it's going to hide it on extra small monitors. That's your mobile view. So all you have to do is type in hidden excess. If you have multiple links like contact us, login, and you don't want them there, you can do that. So we haven't disabled the mini nav with the design settings. I'm actually going to hide it using this hidden excess in the outer CSS class for the LI. If you don't know what all this stuff means, it doesn't matter. All you have to do is input hidden hyphen XS. And let's refresh this. And there we go. So now In this case, it's just a design with the white on white, but now we're already seeing search results here. We see the title of the page. So this is going to provide a much better experience for people on mobile devices. And I know, Pat, you had some feedback about this as well when we were reviewing it. Do you have anything you want to share about this?
Yeah, so I think it's a phenomenal update. I do agree with you that call to action at the top is extremely helpful. For example, if it was a classified website, I would have it say post to classified. If it was a jobs website, I have it say post a job or apply for a job.
Right.
You'd want to have a call to action that really gets people engaged. I do agree with keeping that on there. But overall, it's critical that people start seeing results. And it was a lot of repetitiveness because on every page that you visit, you're always seeing that header content. And now whatever page you go on, you're going straight to the content you're expecting to see, whether it's a blog article, whether it's a job posting, you're going to start reading that content, which is going to increase the overall time people spend on the site because they're going to start scrolling because they're going to see what they were actually searching for.
Absolutely. So you could hide everything to save the maximum amount of space, and basically the content on the site is going to dictate what they see, and they're going to utilize the main menu as well. Or you could keep a couple elements if they're not kind of hogging up too much space there. If you have questions about this, I want to get some feedback from the attendees here. If you want to mention if this is something you'd utilize on your site or not. Okay, Colette, how are you, Colette?
Good, and you, Jason?
Excellent, excellent. Are you utilizing any of these mobile settings?
Not yet, but I will be. I think it's a great idea, and I have over 50% of users using mobile, so it's a great addition for me.
Awesome. Yeah, we'd love to check it out once you implement your desired settings, and we can kind of see like a before and after of what your site was on mobile before implementing those settings.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, great, great, great. All right, great. So those are the BD Lab updates. If you guys implement the mobile views on your site, we'd love to see them maybe later on in this webinar or the next webinar, and maybe we could provide some additional suggestions to enhance it further. All right, moving on. We do have a new add-on that was released, I believe, earlier this week. It is Pin Featured Post, and essentially what this add-on allows you to do is to select specific posts, whether it's coupons, events, properties, and pin them to the top of the search results pages. Now, you as the admin are the ones who can select which posts are pinned, so you have control. And this is prime real estate on your website where you can choose important content that you want your visitors to see, or valuable real estate that you can sell to members that want their posts features at the top of the search results. Pat, I wanted you to share some of your feedback as well on this and some ideas you have on the value of pinning posts to the top of the search results, and then I'll show how this add-on works.
Absolutely, because in the past, on search results, especially for posts, you're really constrained to these default sort orders. For example, if it was events, it would always be sorted by the date. So perhaps I have a customer on my directory. It's a VIP customer. They're paying a lot of money to be there. They post an event, and it slowly goes down the line in terms of search results. So they're not really getting the value that they're hoping to get paying top dollar on my directory. So it's important for me to have a way when I'm dealing with bigger customers or selling promotions or advertisements that I can tell them, listen, if there's an event that's going on that's really important to you, you can pay an additional fee or you can upgrade to my top tier. And whatever that event is, we can pin it for a week or we can pin it for a month. What I like with pin posts, I do like them as additional products and additional services that are time constrained. So there's certainly, you can pin it for a week, you can pin it for a month. You probably don't want to pin something much longer than a month because you do want fresh content for those end users. But if somebody would be willing to pay you longer than a month, I guess you would go ahead and do that for them.
That's really great. Yeah, I just see it as really high value real estate and visibility for anyone that has their post featured at the top of the list, search result list. So let me show you guys quickly how this add-on works. If you are a VIP Add-ons Club member, this is automatically added to your site, so you should see this setting in your admin now. If you are a VIP Add-ons Club member and don't see this setting, just email the support team and they'll be more than happy to enable it for you. So let's show you where this setting is in the admin. So we're going to go to the dashboard, and you want to navigate on over to Content and Manage Posts. And in this section of the admin, you can basically see all the content you and your members have added to the website, coupons, blog articles. In this case, let's use the design portfolios. These are photo albums on our demo site. And the new setting is here. It's a checkbox underneath the Edit and Actions button, which have always been here. And it says Set as Featured Post. So you're in control of this admin. The members do not choose which posts are set as featured. So this is something that you'll do yourself. And we're already featuring 2 posts here. Let me undo the featuring of this. That's all you need to do is check and uncheck it. And what I want to do is go to the search results page here. So these are my design albums. Let me refresh this page. Whoops. Looks like something just went a little off here. I had these featured, and now they're stuck at the top here. They should be going away, and they're not going away. We'll look into that a little later, why that's happening. But let me show you how you can feature a post at the top. So let's say we want outdoor, indoor, open living area to be at the top of the search results here. What we're going to do is just set as featured posts, just like I uncheck those. Should be saved now. Just going to click on Manage Posts again and come back here and see why that was kind of glitching there. So that's set at featured, and those are gone. So now if we refresh the page, there we go. So this is now set to the top here of the post. These should be going away. We'll look into that. It is a new add-on, so it might be something to troubleshoot here. But now that this post is at the top of the page, it's going to get the most exposure from website visitors that come to the website. And as long as this is this would be part of the normal search for photo albums here, it will always be pinned to the top of the results. So I think it's pretty self-explanatory, the benefits of this, and we're realizing more functionality that can be built around this add-on. For example, being able to highlight this with a background color and things of that nature. So we're going to be looking into that stuff for a phase 2. But I think with a phase 1, we really got to the core value of what this type of add-on can do. And as Pat mentioned, you can sell this space to members that are willing to pay for it. So if you have a high traffic website and they want their event to show at the top, you can set it there. You can set your own timer if you want it to be there for a week, and you just go into the admin and either check or uncheck this option here to set as featured post.
And if you're getting started, Jason, and you're not necessarily ready to start selling and you're trying to populate your directory, this is really useful as well, because you're going to probably put in a lot of work and effort in certain blog articles that offer really high-end content and value to people visiting your site. So you can also pin them, not just from a monetary perspective, but just to really highlight the quality and make sure somebody does come to your website, that you're exposing them to your best content out of the gates rather than your newest content.
Exactly. You can put your best foot forward in that case. So if you're just starting out, you can always have your premium content ahead of other results on your site, yep, and therefore guaranteeing a good experience for your website visitors. Those posts might also be like information about the section that they're on. So like learning about what the coupon section is and things like that. So there's lots of value and a wide set of benefits that you can use this add-on for. All right, moving on. We have a great segment from Rick's Corner today. Rick's going to cover a couple topics today about how to find quick help links in the admin. And he's also going to explain how to edit categories for different types of posts. And I know, Rick, that's a common question we get in the support center, is how to, for example, edit the categories for a blog or an event or coupons. Is that right?
That is correct, Jason. We do get that question often. People are wondering, like, how can I make it more tailored towards this particular post type itself? So categories that are more related to articles, how can I go about changing those? So yeah, it's a great topic and very excited to jump in.
Awesome. So yeah, I'll pass the controls over to you, and you can kind of take us through the workflow of how to edit the categories, and also show us about those help links in the admin as well.
Okay, perfect. Let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing that I do want to go over is the fact that we've updated the buttons called the Need Help buttons. So the ones that are at the bottom right corner of all the brand directories backend. So if we open that up right now, you'll see that it has a few helpful links and then a link to view the entire article section in the backend or in the actual solution center, to be more precise. So we have we have updated all of the sections that you see here in the back end. It was quite the job. It was completed by the support staff. So it was a very nice project. All in all, trying to bring more information and make more information available for everyone so that your answers or your questions get answered. So yeah, need help, and then you just click on it, and then it has the links. If it doesn't have a link to view all, it's because those are the two basic articles that you actually need for that section. If you guys have any feedback, we're always welcoming that feedback, so please let us know. The entire support staff is more than happy to jump in and assist and get those links ready to go for you guys. All right, now jumping into the topic that we're going to talk about today, we were making reference to the categories related to posts, post types. So for this scenario and for this example, we're going to use the member articles. So if I log in as a user of a website, this is my dashboard. Here to the left, I have the sidebar that has the different post types that I have available. Right, so I'm going to go ahead and open up the member articles. I'm going to pretend that I'm going to add a member article. And what I want to show you is the categories that we have by default showing up on that form. So when we go to the articles, you'll see that the users of your website have the ability to choose the different categories from this dropdown right here. So in case you want to update those categories, the way to do it would be it's actually very easy, by the way, but it's through the back end. You want to go to the content, and you're looking for the edit post settings section, this one right here. So when you click on that, what's going to display are the different post types available on your brand directories website. The one that we are going to edit is the articles. So what we'll do is click here where it says edit, just open that up. And here where it says post categories, this is where we have the actual categories that we can replace. So I'm just going to highlight those. I'm going to get rid of those. I'm going to start with car. Comma separated list, right? So motorcycle and airplane, so on and so forth. Now, very important, we just want to click where it says save. All right, so that's going to save the changes. Now, by doing this, a few areas of the brand directories website get updated. So I'm going to click OK, and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. So if I go to the articles form one more time and I refresh this page here, should be able to see the categories show up. So here we have car, motorcycles, and airplane. So it's going to respect the same order that we add on the features. And the other section that's also going to be updated is going to be the search results section. So this module that we see here on the right on the sidebar, the one that your users are going to use to search for articles, also gets updated with the categories. I haven't clicked refresh yet, so if I refresh, then the categories should show up, and indeed they do. So here we have car, motorcycle, and airplane. So this is, again, what the user uses on the front end in order to search through the different posts available. And this is going to be the form that your user is going to fill out while completing this type of post.
That's awesome, Rick. So updating it in one place will, in the admin, will update it in two places in the front end. The form that the members fill in to create a post, such as a member article, and the search module that's used to search for different types of content. So you just have to do it once, and it's all good.
Correct. Exactly correct. So it makes it really easy for you as a directory or as a website owner. And it also makes it easier for the user of the website because they're going to be able to choose from that dropdown as well as search from the dropdown on the search module.
That's fantastic. Thank you for sharing that, Rick.
No problem. Happy to, Jason.
And yeah, we got a lot to cover today. We already went through a lot. So let's keep things going. I know, Patrick, you're excited about this tip of the week today. 3 proven formulas to generate $5,000 in revenue with membership dues and fees. When you're thinking about your member organization, whether you're a nonprofit trying to collect donations and dues, or an association, or you're a local business directory website, pricing strategy is very important. And I think one thing that people forget to do is to set a goal, a revenue goal that you hope to reach or aim, and then reverse engineer your marketing plan based on that goal. And yeah, Patrick, why don't you share a little bit about what value there is in this tip of the week that's coming up right now?
Yeah, what I'm most excited about, and I've gone through this exercise multiple times, and it's very interesting because it is in fact a formula that we're going to be showing off here, and the fact that there's a lot of variables that you have to consider. There is setting the goal, and once you've set that goal, it's a matter of inputting numbers and identifying, okay, to reach this goal, which formula is right for me. And that's what we're going to be going over today, is 3 proven formulas depending on your personal situation. And these 3 formulas pretty much cover all the different scenarios that people find themselves in as entrepreneurs.
Awesome. So let's dive right into it. You have a website or a print directory or an existing organization with members, and you collect dues and membership fees. First, let's address, why are people paying to be part of your organization? There's probably more reasons, but these are probably the top 5 reasons why members would pay dues and fees to be a part of your website or organization. And essentially, it's because you're providing them with some type of product or service that helps them personally or helps their business. So one is, you could be providing them access to information. So maybe you have premium content or specialized newsletters, and people are paying for access to that industry information. They could be paying membership dues for exposure and visibility, whether it's personal or for their business. But what they're going to calculate is, are they getting a return on their investment for that exposure and visibility? Essentially, they're paying for advertising to be part of your organization and website. The third is pretty straightforward. It's prestige and credibility. If being a part of your organization is hard to get into or exclusive, or you have hurdles that people need to go through in order to be part of your organization, that has value. And if your organization is a credible one, it can help them personally to mention that they're part of your community. The next one is networking opportunities. Again, this can be personal or professional. So by being part of your organization, you invite them into your networking groups, whether they're digital, virtual, or in person. And then lastly is, maybe you strike an emotional chord with potential members, and they're going to support your cause and your mission, and they're willing to make that investment, not for their personal gain, but for the gain of the cause and the mission that your website or organization stands for. There are more reasons why people would pay for membership dues, but these are pretty common ones. So you want to make sure that when you're asking for people to pay for something, that they're at least going to get one of these benefits or some other benefit out of it, that it's not just a blind payment into for nothing. So Pat, what's up with all the how muches on this slide here? And what does that have to do with setting up revenue goals?
So basically, it is a number that we want to really come up with, in a quantity, and it is a formula. So we do need to come out with an actual number. So we want to know how much you want to generate, how much you want to invest, how much available time you want to have. And like we said, if we're talking formulas, we're talking numbers, and that's why we're asking these types of questions.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think when we're set, because when people start a business, they say, I want to make $100 million. So, well, you need customers to support that. You need members to support that. So you have to reverse engineer it. How much can someone in this industry afford? What's the industry standard? How much value am I going to give them? Am I going to move into their house and work for them full time as their marketing consultant? Whatever. How much available time are you going to spend? How much money do you want to invest? We have to remember that you can bootstrap your idea and work on a startup budget and use grassroots marketing, but there's still a level of financial investment that you're going to make. Whether it's $5 or $500,000, you need to figure out how much money you're going to invest to help you reach your revenue goals.
And in that example, Jason, let's say I'm an entrepreneur and I'm going to bootstrap it. I have a very small budget, and then it's time for me to set up my revenue goals. How would that impact my goal setting when it comes to revenue?
Exactly. And then with that is basically because you're bootstrapping it, you don't have high investment costs, but you're going to have a lot of sweat equity. So that's going to be your available time that you're putting into the business. And then the value of your available time comes down to your experience. Are you a super marketing ninja? You know exactly, you can sell ice to an Eskimo, and you can basically use little money and a little bit of time and get high results. Or are you a beginner and you're just learning how to do marketing, or starting an organization and learning how to manage and gain membership? So a lot of that you have to take into consideration when you're creating your revenue goals. And then lastly is, how much demand is there in the market for your product and service? How saturated is it with competitors? How tired are people of if a new company pops up? And how are you going to differentiate yourself?
And that goes back to that hamster wheel, right, that we talked about. Are you filling a need? Is there a clear goal to your website? And the bigger the need, the bigger the demand, the more value there is, and the easier it is to tie that to that revenue goal.
So with these questions, and I like when Pat says it, you have to have a real conversation with yourself and really ask yourself, are you doing hope marketing, or are you being realistic with what your goals are and your goal setting and how you're going to get to your goals?
And there's good news with this, right, Jason, is that it doesn't matter what your answers are. There is a formula for you to follow, and that's exactly what we're going to be showing everybody here. So there is no right or wrong formula. We're going to show you 3 proven pricing formulas that you can adapt to your situation, and everybody on this webinar probably falls under one of these scenarios.
That's a very good point. Let me backtrack on the slide once for 1 second, Pat. Why don't you guys jot down these questions and kind of just write short answers. They don't have to be set in stone. And as we continue with this tip of the week, see which option of these 3 formulas makes more sense based on where you fall with these questions, your available time, how much you want to generate, et cetera, et cetera. So these are 3 proven pricing formulas that you can apply to collect membership dues and fees and get people to sign up to your community website, your directory website. The difference between them is the approach. You could be higher priced and be the Rolls Royce of your industry, on a higher level, but the expectations of your members are going to be much higher, and you'll probably have fewer potential members, but the value is going to be much greater for those. You could be moderately priced, which is going to be hard for you to differentiate yourself from competitors, because being moderately priced, you're probably in line with industry pricing and the features that they're offering. So the important question you need to answer for people is why they should select you over the competition, since you're so close to them. And the last one, which seems like a good option, lower price, might actually require more work and experience. So you're essentially going to be undercutting the competition. You're going to really need to have a lot of optimization and automation in place with regards to landing pages, the sign-up process. And if you're taking on more members, you're probably going to be more hands off with regards to support because you can't give one-on-one support to someone when you're signing up hundreds or thousands of people on a lower price. There's huge potential with the lower price, but it does require more experience. Also, sometimes a lower price can cheapen the perceived value of what you're offering, and that might in itself turn people away. So when you consider which one is right for you, it does really come down to your experience, what you're offering as far as, is it going to be one-on-one assistance with the members, or are you going to be more hands-off? And what the sign-up or sales process is going to be. Pat, what are some characteristics of a person who might want to choose the higher price product route in this case?
This would be somebody that would possibly have a smaller marketing budget, a smaller development budget as well. Because again, when you're talking about optimization, when you're talking about automation, you're talking about having some element of resources and definitely experience. So somebody that wants to offer a higher price product would also be somebody that has more time to invest into their product. They're bringing experience to the table because they're going to be a part of that brand oftentimes. So if I'm launching a new brand, I might be the face of the company, and I'm going to get heavily involved both on the onboarding, in the selling process, and there's going to be some element of ongoing service that they're getting in return for that sort of a product.
Gotcha. So the customer's gonna have higher expectations. The member's gonna have higher expectations. So if you're charging a premium way higher than competitors, you're gonna have to deliver some results.
Absolutely. It's all going to be about delivering results, building relationships, and really going to work for those customers.
Gotcha. And for number two, the moderate price, when we say community support driven, what does that mean exactly? If that's
It means, yeah. So what that would mean is that your pricing isn't high enough, and there's an expression out there that says, can you afford your customers? And I really like that expression. And a lot of times people, when you're doing the pricing, you have to say, okay, if I'm charging X amount, can I afford to give each new customer a personal phone call? Can I afford to check up on them every week? And when you're in that moderate pricing range, the answer is oftentimes no. It doesn't mean that you don't give them an excellent support experience and onboarding experience. It just means that it's not on a one-on-one basis. So perhaps you're doing webinars, perhaps you're setting up a Facebook group, perhaps you're setting up a different community via LinkedIn or via Slack, and you're having support channels, so on and so forth. So you're really going the community route in order to deliver that experience, but they are getting high-end, top quality product.
Gotcha. So that one seems like it's moderately, just like it sounds, hands-on, where you still need to be conscious of supporting the community in some capacity.
That's correct.
Gotcha. And with lower price, what are some of the pros and cons that you see with lower pricing models?
So again, the experience is key because you're going into a very saturated market. You need to make sure that when the sign up process is seamless. So not only is the landing page going to engage me, not only when I sign up is it going to be simple to follow, everything that happens after I sign up is going to be things that don't require tickets, that don't require support, that everybody knows exactly how to use the platform, that there's a good education automation behind it as well, and there's going to be a significant marketing budget for you to drive the traffic to the site, because at that point, what you need are numbers. And if you're going to need hundreds or thousands of people to sign up in order to hit those revenue goals, it's unlikely you're going to be able to do that knocking on doors or just through your personal network. You're actually going to need a marketing budget behind it and drive traffic via social media advertisements, pay-per-click, and so forth.
And on top of that, the reason why optimized and automation is there is because you're not going to be generally talking to these people one-on-one, because theoretically there's going to be so many people that are attracted to the product. You can attract people to your low prices, but unless your copy and the content of your site isn't compelling enough, nobody is going to sign up. So you could have the lowest prices in the world, but if you're not convincing them, because you're not talking to them on the phone, you're not doing product demos for them, you don't have really a community for them to ask questions or whatever level of support you're looking to offer, you need to be ninja with the benefits of joining your organization on your website. So it's not just about the lower prices. Your website needs to sell itself, because you're not going to be there to talk to people for $5 signups all day long. You talk to people who are $500 or $5,000 signups. You'll do demos for those people. So with the lower price point, that's why we say you do need probably need more experience to make sure that not only are you offering the lower price, but your marketing is so good that people do take out the credit card from their back pockets and sign up to your organization without talking to a single person.
And Jason, what would be, as an entrepreneur, if I'm starting out, or if I've been at this for a while, what would be the damage to me as an entrepreneur by choosing the wrong model? If I am, for example, offering a low price, but I'm getting involved personally in these sales, what would be the impact of me making a bad decision and which pricing formula to go with?
So let's say you're offering a lower price, but you're talking to every potential sign up. Now that could be a good thing, because I'm always an advocate for talking to members and getting feedback for the community. But if you're investing to bring traffic to the site, it's going to be hard to recoup your investment, especially with the limited time you have. If the prices are so low, you'll never make back your investment on your marketing or the time that you're investing. Being more hands-on not only creates a more personalized feel for the members that are joining, but you can charge. It's almost like a concierge service at that point. You can charge a higher amount. You can take them through a product demo, what they're gonna receive, and yeah. So I think the more hands-on you are, the more you can charge, but you need to have your pitch and your presentation down at the same time. Let's take this a step further, and let's actually see some examples of pricing here with these pricing formulas. So Pat, let's say you set your revenue goal to $5,000. You've done your market research. You figure with the amount of time you can put in, you can put $5,000. So how do we get to $5,000? There's lots of ways to get to $5,000. We've created 3 simple ways that you could potentially get to $5,000, and it's about reverse engineering your membership dues and fees. So actually, number 1 on this list is the lower price one, right, Pat?
That's correct. And the model that I see most when meeting with Brilliant Directories users and directory users in general is this first model, the 500 members paying $10, the low price point.
Right. But it seems appealing. Hey, $10, who's not going to pay $10, right? But again, the website really needs to sell. You're probably not going to make a phone call if you're about to spend $10 on a site. Either the pricing page is going to sell you or it's not. So you really need to have your marketing down. And that's a lot of work. If you want to get to $5,000, you need 500 members. So let's say to get 500 members signed up, let's say you convert at 10%. So you need 5,000 website visitors to get 500 members. No, is that right? Yeah, 500 members or whatever the numbers might be. So you need a method and strategy to get those 5,000 members to your site. So 10% of them convert to $10 per month. So you really have to have your marketing skills down with regards to driving traffic to your site, and then the site itself selling people on signing up. Again, they have to pull out their credit card on their own without talking to anyone. Maybe you have a chat through the website and you answer some basic questions. And basically everything is self-managed by the members, and you're gonna have to provide limited support, because you can't talk to 500 people a day who are interested in signing up your site.
That's correct, and they shouldn't be asking questions like, "Can I get a demo? I don't understand the benefits." After they sign up, they can't be emailing you with questions on how do I set this up, how do I do this. If those types of questions are coming up, it's probably not the right model for you.
It's not the model, and again, the website is not doing the selling for you. Also, it's still confusing, or you're not really highlighting the benefits and of your program and organization properly. So that's why you really need to know marketing and how to create good, choosing the right words for your website copy to get people to join. Option number 2 is the moderate option. You could get to $5,000 a month or a year, whatever you're looking to do, if you sign up 50 members paying $100. So tell us a little bit about some of the pros and cons of this approach, Pat.
So obviously the pros is that you need to make a lot less sales. So it's an easier goal to get to. You don't need anywhere near the marketing budget that you would in the smaller price point. But of course, if you're charging 10 times more, that means that you're going to need to significantly increase the value that you're offering to those members. And you're going to really have to build a strong community. You're going to have to make sure that when they join, that they're welcome, that they have a lot of avenues to get information and education, and they really feel like I'm a part of a credible network here that's well worth paying the dollars that I'm paying.
Right, and even with this, like this type of model might warrant like even a 15-minute phone call. You know, not a 1-hour demo, but potentially a 15-minute consultation call to see if they're a good candidate. You interview them to see if they're a good candidate for your organization. So again, yeah, this one is more community driven. You still want to maintain the credibility and authority of your and prestige of your organization to create the demand for people to want to join. But as far as workload, you're cutting your workload down, I guess 90% with this, right?
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of effort that goes into it, but I think that this is probably, if you don't have a lot of expertise to bring to the table, if you can't offer the community something that they can't get anywhere else, there's a good chance that this is probably the right direction for a lot of people that are on this webinar. Doesn't mean that it's the right formula for everybody, but I do see this one as being one of the ones that succeeds the most.
Now, we're using $5,000 as an arbitrary number here. This could be $2,000. This could be $50,000. And then the pricing, 10, 100, and 1,000. Again, it's all going to vary based on your industry. We just wanted to do some simple math here in this example. And then number 3 in this option is your higher priced model, where you're really just looking to get a select few number of members to sign up, but you're going to provide a lot of hands-on, potentially a lot of hands-on support and value, and you're going to deliver results to them to warrant their investment for their membership dues. So with this one, you might not have a high marketing budget, you may, but you really want a system to find and identify candidates. That's the most important thing. So this is where you're probably going to put the most sweat equity in and the most time in, but the payoff is going to be a lot bigger per member. So you're going to create a relationship. You're going to court them for a while. You might do a product demo. You get them warmed up. There's probably going to be more decision makers on the other end. So you might have to talk to a couple different people. But once you get a system down in place, it may eventually become less work than option number 1 here. You might just have to work half the amount of time, depending on your experience and your ability to sell your product, the higher priced product.
That's correct. And I'll give a couple of examples of different ways I've seen this implemented. Let's say I am a national directory for dentists. I can go the route of trying to get as many dentists into the directory as I can, which is the low fee route. I can try to build a lot of relationships with a lot of dentists paying the medium price route, Or perhaps what I'll do is I'm going to try to find one dentist for each city and try to build a relationship with them and offer them something they're not seeing anywhere else. So I might go to Houston and go to a dentist. And yes, maybe there are 1,000 dentists in Houston, and I could be calculating, well, if they all signed up and gave me $10, I would make, X amount of money. I see a lot of people make that calculation, and I find it easier to find one dentist in Houston and to tell him, listen, we're a national directory for dentists. And we know that it's very competitive out there. And what we're looking for is we're looking to build one partnership with one dentist that has the standards and values that we have in this directory. And we want to match our visitors to that dentist. We'll build a landing page to generate leads. We guarantee 100% of the leads are going to go to you. We're going to have a dedicated AdWords campaign. We're going to make sure your profile is optimized. You're going to have a personal account manager, and we're going to guarantee you leads. But there's only one, and after this particular appointment, we're meeting with 3 of your competitors, and there is a sense of urgency here because we only have one spot in Houston, and I'm interested. Would you like that to be you? There's a sense of urgency. I'm offering something no one else has, but of course, we're highlighting that hands-on support. I'm telling him a bunch of stuff we're going to do for him. It's not just a directory listing, but I do prefer that sort of approach. But again, I'm offering expertise. I know how to market. I know how to run advertisement campaigns, and I know how to deliver those leads. I'm telling him I'm going to be able to deliver.
Now, if you can figure out number 3 without being hands-on, and those are great examples, Pat. So you just have a product where it doesn't require you to do much and it adds a ton of value for your members. That's where you've created a cash cow because you have low overhead expenses with regards to your time and the amount of resource you need to dedicate per client. And the clients are happy to pay you a premium for that product or service. That's when you get into the cash cow realm, when you've really optimized assisting the user, but you're also giving them super high value that exceeds what competitors can offer them. So I think that's always a good goal to reach, is supporting not just more customers, but adding more value to what you can offer customers with using less resources on your end. That's ideal. But yeah, getting hands-on is definitely something that's something that you can do to provide that your help is the premium service that you're offering them. So yeah, we wanted to launch a poll and a survey here. It's going to pop up on your screen. After you've probably just unloaded a lot of information to you, we were just curious which formula you think you can support. Let me launch this poll here. You can answer the question in front of you. Do you think you can support a high price model where you're working with less members, but they're paying you a whole lot more? Do you think you have what it takes, or are you succeeding already with a low priced model and members are joining your site because the site is obviously doing a good job selling them on your product or service? Or do you feel that you should just offer your product and service at a moderate price based on what the industry standard is and what other competitors are doing? It looks like everyone has almost voted in. If you haven't voted in, let us know which formula might work best for your website. We're just curious to see where people feel they're most comfortable with the amount of time and resources it would take based on these models. All right, I'm going to end the poll now. I can see 3 more people need to vote in. Okay, great. We're going to close the poll. Pat, it is unanimous. Let me close the polls here. Okay, great. 67% of the audience today said they would be comfortable with the moderate price. And it's a split decision between who'd be comfortable with the high priced versus the low price. I'd like to do this. If you selected the high price model, can you raise your hand? I'd love to hear what you're offering people at that higher priced model, that or the types of services, or the lower priced model, what you're doing with regards to your marketing to get people in. So let's see if we can unmute some of these mics here. All right. Our good friend Wendy, how are you today?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Excellent, excellent. How was this tip of the week for you today?
Oh, absolutely wonderful.
it kind of puts things into perspective because there's more than one way to reach a goal like this, and it can really cut down the amount of work that you put into your site actually, and actually help you use your time and energy for other things potentially.
Not sure if it's cutting down the amount of work right now.
Okay. Well, tell us a little bit about these formulas and which one you think you're most comfortable with.
Yeah, we always chose the high price model and the paid model. We never wanted, everybody come in for free and then, we'll upgrade you later. We knew that the directory would be smaller, but we knew what we had to offer. We offer a lot of education in terms of the technologies being used out there today that our particular community was unaware of, such as proximity-based marketing, SMS marketing, so it's not just on the website. We actually go into businesses and work with different types of technologies, installing different types of technologies in their businesses to help them get, more customers.
So you almost become a solution partner for them, not
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
And for that service, you can charge premium.
Yes.
That's fantastic. Do you have any tips for anyone out there who might need more information on what it takes to charge for a premium product, a higher price product?
Well, I think you have to have, number one, a product that is needed, such as, like I said, different types of technologies, not just showing a website. But for our directory, once again, we can go in and set businesses up with short messaging codes, SMS marketing. We do video marketing for businesses, professional video marketing. We do proximity-based marketing where we can actually install machines up to their systems, and connect them with email marketing, Facebook, and all of that. So it's not only web-based, but we actually go, inside the businesses as well.
That's fantastic. And then lastly, you said that it's not free for everyone to join. So how do you create a level of exclusivity to create the demand from these prospects in the first place? Is it like special to be part of your organization? What's the kind of the angle you're using to entice people in the first place?
Well, I think we had a head start. Maybe that's what did it. I'm not sure. But the president of this particular web directory, Elegant Living Directory, has always been a member of the community and working with businesses, etc. So early on, she was connected to a lot of businesses and, went to a lot of events, attended a lot of their events, etc. And she still does that today. So that's how she gets a lot of the members.
So that's interesting. We have the system. We have the system to find candidates. There's a great sales pitch and demo. You guys deliver on your results, and there's a lot of hands-on support, which means you really fit that model of charging a premium to your members.
And if you look at our blog site, we also do a lot of training on technologies, the different types of technologies we offer.
So you're writing articles to demonstrate your expertise on marketing and that you guys are state-of-the-art and cutting edge when it comes to knowing best practices and things like that, right? Okay.
Yes.
So great. You're creating assets that encourage confidence in prospective members about your capabilities as an organization.
Yes. And we're just getting ready to institute a advisory committee, taking some of the business members and making them become part of an advisory committee on, where we can take this directory next.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for your feedback and also for sharing your site with us today.
Thank you.
Awesome, Wendy. So great feedback from there. Pat read it verbatim here. She does fall, this or that organization falls into the number 3 category. They have a system to find potentially high paying candidates. They have to do a sales pitch and demo, and then they actually go into the office. They deliver the results that they promise on, and there is hands-on support. So that was a good example to show that this model can work. They just require different things from you. Let's see if we have anybody else's hand up here. Oh, we got our good friend Barry. Barry, you're from the UK, correct?
That's absolutely right, yep.
How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you.
Excellent. Was this presentation helpful at all, the tip of the week today?
Yeah, I'm actually going the other end of the market to our last one in a different way. And because I've been in the photography industry for 40 years, it's an industry I know and understand absolutely from the ground up. And so I'm going with an annual fee.
Okay. So this one requires experience, and we mentioned requires experience, but not only in marketing, but you just said it, in the industry that you're going to serve. So you definitely understand their needs and wants and what they're willing to pay and things like that. So the experience is both on the marketing side and understanding the industry. So very good.
Yeah, for selling to the market, I've got email lists of something like 40,000 photographers within the US alone, 10,000 in the UK. They're on my computer. So as soon as I finish building the website and pre-uploading those, we will be hitting those with email marketing to get them to come in and initially sign up as a free member and then upgrade them to an annual paid membership.
Okay, great. So a little bit of guerrilla marketing, you're going for high volume, and then a percentage of those will convert into paying members.
That's the idea.
Okay, great. Thank you, Barry, for sharing the type of strategy you're going to implement and some reasons why also. It's important to know why you're going that route, and I think you've justified kind of the path you're taking.
Yep.
Thank you. All right, Pat, some good stuff there. We saw two ends of the spectrum between high and low. So Barry's going the guerrilla marketing route. Wendy's going the more hands-on, one-on-one route. So yeah, there's multiple ways to get to the revenue goal that you have in mind, just as a matter of your experience and time and investment that you're looking to make. Any final comments on this, Pat, on this topic?
Oh, I just hope that this was helpful to some of the people listening today and helping you know, okay, if I'm in this model, what are the missing pieces for me to really execute successfully? Maybe I'm missing that community. Maybe I don't have a Facebook group. Maybe I don't have an onboarding set up, and I'll need that. Or perhaps it's when I see this model personally, I see, hey, it's easier for me to make 5 sales than it is to make 500 sales. But that's because in my personal case, there's certain elements that make that formula work for me. So hopefully some people discovered that they actually fit in a different formula than they were actually currently implementing on their sites.
Awesome. All right. So yeah, that is the tip of the week. Now let's get to the Q&A section of Webinar Wednesdays. We got some time left here. So if you have some questions on how you want to grow your community, maybe you're a new website, maybe you're an established organization and you want to try to get to the next level, feel free to use the raise your hand feature and we can take some questions here. And I see we already have a hand raised from Ben. Ben, how are you today?
Yeah, hi, this is Ben. I have a question regarding the moderate pricing.
Sure. Go back.
If you are a two-sided community where you have a community of potential buyers and vendors, right? And your goal is to get that $100 a month from vendors, but your community from a traffic point of view is still very new. You're talking about handfuls of visitors a day. Can you, in your opinion, justify that $100 payment to the community, while you're building traffic? And the other, I guess, follow-up just to that is, how is, other than, things like social media marketing, are there any great tricks to get traffic to your site, more quickly?
Yes. So you bring up a very common question. Basically, you're asking what came first, the chicken or the egg? You're building a marketplace of professionals and website visitors, but why on earth would the professionals join if there are no visitors? And why would the visitors search the site if there are no professionals or vendors listed on the website? So there's a couple routes that you could take with this. Let's say you just set up your website, you got your membership level pages set up, everything's there except the website visitors and the members. Pat and I always recommend a couple things. One is if you're just starting out, we recommend adding your first 100 members yourself. Go online and you can make a list of people that you think would motivate other people in the industry to want to join your community. So you can just manually add the people yourself. You can import a small list, and that way your site actually looks a little populated. So there's a little something there for when visitors start coming to your site. Now you were mentioning how can you start advertising the site to draw traffic. So SEO is great, but waiting for Google can take a long time. So you basically have two options. You can pay for advertising, pay per click. So you pay for Google ads or Facebook ads or LinkedIn ads, generally speaking, and that will bring traffic to your site. Now, that could be very expensive if you don't know what you're doing. You want to make sure you test concepts, your ad campaigns before you invest large amounts of money. And this is where the marketing expertise comes in. You want to make sure your landing pages and the copy on your website really sells people on your mission and the goal and encourages them to either sign up or contact you to learn about signing up. So those are the two routes. They can sign up on their own or they can inquire about how to join your website. But that's all going to come down to how well the content on your website is organized and the messaging on your website. One of my favorite strategies, and I think I repeated it in a previous webinar, is add those first members yourself, and you're going to need to add some type of content to your website that's valuable to both the website visitor and to the vendor. And my favorite thing to do is creating top 10 lists or top 7 lists that include the members you added on your website and a nice title. I forgot, I think it was Dimitri. He had the martial arts directory website, and it was to find trainers and things like that. So I recommended to create top 10 lists. It wasn't Dimitri, it was actually someone else with another trainer website. I recommended to create a blog article of top 10 CrossFit gyms in Atlanta, and to make sure he had those members added to his site himself. So he'd write an article, top 10 CrossFit gyms in Atlanta. Then what you do is everyone that's listed on that you mentioned in that article, Ben, you want to let them know, hey, John, we featured your gym in our top 10 article. Chances are that gym will then want to share that article on their social media, and that can start helping you create more slightly viral content within as far as the people that you're sharing it with, but they'll start doing some of the marketing for you. So it's both inexpensive and highly effective to do those types of articles where you're basically praising the business, and then the business is going to share that article with their community saying, hey, I've been featured on this website, and that helps bring exposure to your website and value and credibility as well.
Wow, that's excellent. One of the questions that I guess is if you don't have enough traffic yet, as far as user, not paid, is there a number of like critical mass where you just from experience think that it's realistic to seek out vendors, paid people on the on the sell side versus the the users looking for a product?
I think Ben, generally speaking, if I may, initially when you're launching, when you say, okay, my end goal is to have a $100 membership plan, and the end goal is that it's going to include these things. When you're starting out on that journey, you're going to have to, if you're not getting the traffic, you're going to have to accept the fact that you're going to be giving in a little bit more effort than you'd like to ideally for the amount of money that they're paying you, because you're not yet delivering on that traffic, but you want to start building in that vendor base. Normally, what I recommend is to get a little bit creative, because it can't always be about the traffic that you're generating. So if your sales pitch initially to a vendor is that they're going to be getting leads because of how much traffic you're generating, and you're not generating traffic, it's a really tough sell. If you're going in there with a different approach, for example, hey, we have the backing of all these organizations, and we have this big launch plan for January 1st in the new year. We're really excited about things that are going to happen. And what we're doing is we're looking to partner up with 3 professionals in each city, and that's it. And there's going to be, what we're looking is for people that are seeing the vision that we have, and they want to be a part of this. And for that $100, because because you're getting in early, you're going to get all of these extra services that people are not going to get when we go live and the traffic starts pouring in. Because what you're looking to do at this point is you're looking to generate revenue so that you can take some of that money and drive that traffic to the website. So you have to get a little creative. The hardest thing to do with launching a new online directory is getting those first 100 members to sign up that are paid members. Once you get that momentum and that money starts coming in, everything gets incredibly easier from that point on.
Fantastic. Thank you, guys. Both those answers were great for me. Thank you.
And another thing I like to say is fake it till you make it. And I don't mean, lie to your members and fake data, but the confidence that you might have, that you want to have for the success of your website 5 years from now, you can exude that confidence in your messaging today. So you could be proud of your idea, even like you said, Ben, you might not have all the visitors and all the vendors that you'd want in your directory, but in your messaging, you can use messaging that kind of exudes that you're already that successful. And that will give people confidence to want to use your website. And then lastly, Ben, I also want to share, because this also came up in a previous webinar, you are creating a marketplace on your website. Just like Uber, there are drivers and there are riders. So when you're going about and setting up your directory website and trying to get end user visitors to your site and vendors joining your site, choose only a specific category or a specific location at a time, so that when you do attract those visitors, there are vendors on the side that would match those types of searches. If you start your website as everything for everyone right off the bat, you're going to have vendors in New York and website visitors in Los Angeles, and they're never going to have a match on your website. So just like the Uber strategy, when you're trying to match riders with drivers, focus your energy on one specific niche at a time within your directory. That way, the people who are using your website, they have a higher probability of success when they're conducting searches and looking for professionals in your community. All right, let's see. A good question there from Ben. I love these topics and conversations. All right, we got our good friend Jeff in Australia. How you doing, Jeff?
Good morning. Good, thanks. I want to commend you on that last segment. It's brilliant. We sit in the middle section to the lower section, and we get over $6,000 a month. But we have quite a hands-on, and the way to handle the hands-on we do is we do it on a monthly basis, where we deal with those months, that month, a lot of members who are coming up for renewal. We go right through their site, we check the optimization, we talk to them about the content they've got and any information that needs changing and stuff like that.
That's fantastic. And what type of content what's the benefit your members are getting? I know that you do events on your website, correct?
We do events mainly for to get visitors through the site. And the visitors then obviously use the site on a more often basis, and we get leads to our customers.
Got you.
We don't charge for leads. we pass the leads on, and we even ring them to make sure that they get those leads. So we have a personal contact with each lead passed out to our member.
Fantastic. So they're paying for the membership. You guys are making sure that you're consistently delivering good leads to them, and they've already prepaid for the service, so all they have to do is wait for you to deliver leads to them.
Yeah, and we optimize. We do pretty well in Google. We pretty much can deliver a first page for each listing that we have that we paid for. We optimize pretty much a week after it's gone on the site.
And when people join your organization and your website, are they signing up blindly through the website, or does it require a phone call with someone from your team?
No, they can log up, they can register free, and that free puts them in what we call a phone book listing, so they can be displayed as a member with a phone number only.
Okay.
And then they can stay there as that, but then we have a list of people we can market to upgrade. And quite often we will ring those people that come on as a phone book listing and talk to them about the benefits of upgrading.
Okay, so fantastic. So you get your foot in the door with the free listing. They get some value from it, and from there that's your system for getting candidates is the free phone book listing, and then you have the sales and upgrading from there.
We don't do much else in marketing because we don't have the time. We obviously put it into the members themselves. And we would get probably 30 or 40 sign-ups a week on the free listing. Now, not all of them come on board. We can't convert all of them, but we convert a few.
Right.
It's going well for us.
And just to backtrack a bit, if you don't mind sharing, you said how much are you doing in revenue each month?
We're doing over $6,000.
$6,000.
Certainly handles the.
My question after that is, how much staff do you have? How many people are working on this project?
2 people.
Two people.
My wife and myself.
Okay, so 2 people. Who does the majority of the sales calls and pitches?
My wife, mainly because she does better with the phone.
Okay.
Her phone manner.
Okay. Well, I commend you on your success. It seems like you have a good system there, and it's only getting better. So a 2-person operation, and you're generating, $5,000-$6,000 a month. And so, just last question for that $6,000 a month. How many members? How much is each member paying on average?
We have probably 2 main tiers. The first one, or standard one, which we have a majority of members in, are paying $78 for 6 months. Now, we were doing $49 at one stage, and it wasn't doing very well, and we upped the pricing to $69, where it's a feng shui number myself, and we got a lot better results.
With the higher price.
So we're now at 78, which is still a feng shui number as well.
Fantastic.
So there you are.
That's great. So yeah, one of the points here on the lower price, the last one here is lower prices can sometimes turn people away. So that's a great example of increasing the price actually increases the perceived value of the potential service. So sometimes you have to play around with the numbers and see what's working. The good thing about a membership organization is as the owner of the organization, you can change the numbers from time to time. If it's not instantly, you could change the membership dues per year. So yeah, thank you, Jeff, for sharing that. And
it's probably the working out the average sort of income or per sale of the majority of people you have on the site. 78 seems to be comfortable for them. If they could get 1 lead, would certainly give them some sort of profit out of that lead.
That's the return on investment that they'll be calculating basically in their mind.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for sharing
Great session this morning.
Thanks, Jeff. All right. I think we got time for one more question here, Pat, right?
Yeah, let's get it done. Yeah.
All right. We got our good friend Sal here. He's got his hand up. All right. Sal, how are you today?
Good, thank you. And you?
Excellent. Excellent. Where are you calling in from?
Australia.
Fantastic.
Yeah, the same place as Jeff. actually, I'd like to congratulate him. He's doing very well then.
Awesome. Yeah, you've been on the webinars before, and you mentioned you had the free sign up option, and people were kind of taking advantage of that. What questions do you have for us today about these pricing formulas?
The issue that I have is that I consult to the SME Association of Australia, and they've also got a new marketing organisation that thought change the homepage as such. And I wouldn't mind if you could actually have an input into, what you think of the homepage and whether that's the right message. I mean, we struggle with getting paid members. We really do.
Is this? I'm sharing my screen here. Is this your homepage here?
Yeah, homepage. The new chairman is that guy there, Mark Boras. He was like he was the Apprentice. He hosted the Australian Apprentice, so he's well known to the Australian public and all that. But this is what his marketing team has come up with.
His marketing team put him on the homepage. Makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess the question is, what are your goals? Who is the website servicing here?
Well, I'm just wondering whether you could tell by that homepage.
Small business is everyone's business. I'm already too lazy to read all this. I'm just personally. Only small business.
No, I agree. I agree with that.
Local. That's the benefit of shopping small. When you buy from a small business, you're not only buying from the local community, you're buying into the, okay, so the into is the emphasis word here, into the local community. I would, personally, I would simplify this down to 3 lines. I don't want to insult anyone. It kind of reads like a riddle, but like everything is mentioned and then reverse mentioned backwards. Small business is everyone's business. Buy small .business. Is this another website that's being advertised here?
Yeah, it is, but it directs, it goes just to smea.org.au. So they are going to have postal boards all throughout Australia, bus stops and all that sort of stuff. So it's more of a promotion on buying business more.
So this is the second section of the website. As far as the text, I think this does a better job of explaining like the benefit of joining. This one is more abstract. Small business is everyone's business. This could be the second part of the site. You can keep his picture there, but SME is helping Australian businesses promote and grow their business. You might want to vary the word, maybe Australian companies, because you're using the word business and business. Again, it becomes more like a tongue twister when it's like that. So you might want to vary it, and you might actually appeal to a broader audience when you use similar but different keywords and buzzwords, because that way you're targeting companies and the word business. This kind of tells me what you guys do in a nutshell. SME is helping Australian businesses. Then I would want, remember, you're basically setting up. So go ahead, Pat. Yeah.
So yeah, and thank you, Jason. And when I'm reading this, the top fold is a website that's intended for a consumer to shop locally. The second fold is like it's for a website that's designed as a resource to help a small businessman grow. So I own a business in Australia, and I'm going to get help, and this is a resource center for me. So it's difficult to know which of the two the website's trying to be. Like we had this discussed in previous webinars. What is the need that you're trying to fill? Who is your audience? And here, the top fold is the most important fold, and that's all about getting consumers to shop locally. And it seems like the rest of the site is about helping support local business in terms of resources.
And also, it's just one more thing. You're encouraging people to shop local businesses, but maybe understanding the value of your specific directory, like these are trusted businesses or some kind of a curated list of businesses, and that's why it's good to maybe they're certified small businesses, like they're definitely not owned by big corporations. So that by looking at the businesses on this site, you know that you're directly supporting kind of like mom and pop organizations, or self-owned businesses, not by big multinational corporations. I think maybe just the reorganization, and also the calls to action are far in the top right here. One would think that this is a button, but it's not, and it's really not taking you anywhere. And also, as you scroll down, you lose these buttons. So your next action, it almost looks like a PDF brochure, to be honest.
Yeah.
So like now I'm in the middle of the page, and I can't really do anything. So you might want to lock these buttons at the top here, and think about who you're trying to target with your messaging. I think these are testimonials here, right, and case studies?
It's just case studies, not really testimonials.
Gotcha. Okay. Those are some points. I think Pat brought up some good points, and I hope what I mentioned might help you as well.
Yeah, I think it looks pretty, but I'm not sure whether it's the right message for the home page. I'm just not sure where it's. We've got this struggle whether it's the consumer or the business.
Okay. So to answer that question, gear your home page. I'm just going to use the Yelp example like we used in the webinars. Gear your home page towards the consumer. When a business comes here and they see that your website is geared to the consumer, they're going to figure out where to click so they could be part of this network as well. So Yelp is geared towards, I think this here. So Yelp is geared towards the consumers mainly. This is new. They added this here. Go to Yelp for business owners. But everything on their homepage is getting the consumer excited. And it doesn't get more local as far as businesses than Yelp. But the only place for the business owner, the company, to join the site is way down in the footer. It says Yelp for business owners. So if you can demonstrate to the business owner that your site is catering to the consumer, the business owner is not dumb. They're going to want to find out where they could click to be part of your website if it relates to their business. So that's just the natural inclination of a business owner is, hey, there's this website for, let's use Pat's example, dentists, right? Dentists in Atlanta, and everything's about tips for finding a dentist in Atlanta. If I'm a dentist in Atlanta, I'm gonna want to figure out how to join that website. And you don't have to totally hide it, but it could be in the footer or somewhere a little bit more discreet. And then once they click here, then they unlock the universe of joining your site as a business. So I would use the Yelp model in that case, which is adjust your site's homepage to cater more to the consumer, but still make available links where the business can participate in the community.
Yeah, we also have we have $10,000 US a month from Google because we're a non-for-profit, and we're not. I think they've changed the rules there to make it a little bit easier for us because there was a budget, a certain dollar value. But, look, it seems to me that the target of that, which I don't look after, is actually targeting the businesses rather than what the consumer would look for, would be typing in Google.
So in that case, we would going back to Wendy's model with the Elegant Living, where they're very hands-on with showing the businesses that they're experts in helping the businesses get more customers. So you can go both routes, but I would pick a lane. Right now, your homepage is trying to do both, and it might be causing more confusion than answering questions for people.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
All right, so I appreciate you always sharing your website here, and glad to see the progress. The key here is, and I'm going to go back to our hamster wheel. You do a very good job. There's the hamster wheel of continuously evolving your website, cycling through these steps. You've obviously you redid the design of your homepage, but now you're going to move on to the other steps, and this is the key to growth and honing in on how to best serve your market. So I want to commend you on that, Sal.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Well, this will conclude Webinar Wednesday. I think this is number 52 or 53. Lastly, if you haven't already done so, we can carry the conversation in the Facebook group. You can go to brilliantdirectories.com/Facebook, and we can continue the discussions there if we didn't get to your question today. So on behalf of myself, Rick, and Patrick, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been a great webinar session. The next one is next week, and then we're going to do another one the following week. So we're doing 3 back-to-back. And yeah, we'll catch you soon. Thanks for tuning in.
Have a brilliant day, everyone.